from the University of Houston and a bachelor's degree in electrical and electronics engineering from the Bangalore University. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Harsha Rao on stage for his talk titled Data Science and
Hey, thanks guys. Sorry, I flew in last night, so if I'm a little jet lagged, this is probably a benefit because I'm probably gonna, I know you guys, I'm reporting you guys from lunch, so I'll make it quick. Involvement with healthcare in the US, both on the federal side as well as on the commercial side. And I'm going to just briefly walk you through some of the latest things. I just came back from the HIMSS conference, which is the Health Information Management Software and Systems. This is one of the biggest conferences. So, some of the things I saw there, the trends, some of the evolving trends I'll just quickly share. And then, most importantly, a lot of the things that you guys are doing and the fluency you're acquiring in AI, machine learning, and cognitive computing, I think it's going to change and transform healthcare for a very, very long time. So I think, with that, let me just quickly jump in. So I'm just going to cover briefly, and then we can talk, if you have questions. The main thing is, I'm going to talk through some challenges and opportunities for you guys. I don't know if, people here are focused on healthcare. I saw, digital analytics on the marketing side, and I know there are a lot of other things on the manufacturing side. So we'll walk through some basics, and then I just wanted to touch upon ML, AI, and cognitive computing. I know, I cannot match the machine learning and all the details of all the different algorithms. You guys are much more fluent in that than I am. But it was interesting because I'm starting to see, Ginny Rometty, the CEO of IBM, spoke, and she wanted to kind of talk about how now there is a clear distinction between ML, AI, and cognitive computing. And I also wanted to touch a little bit upon that because I see there are some new things there, and which you might be aware of, but I think would be good to kind of talk about. And then a couple other things. One is if you're looking at healthcare and analytics, I think one of the things you probably ought to know is the adoption model for analytics. It's a maturity model that HIMSS as an organization has come up with. So I think it would be good. I think when you evaluate yourself or when you evaluate organizations and their effectiveness in analytics, I think the maturity model will help you. And I think this is probably where I think as you guys are going in into healthcare and applying analytics, you can see how it will help organizations and where kind of you can focus. So quickly, healthcare has always been a technology laggard. It's way behind in applying technology. Unlike financial services and Wall Street, you always see a lot of things happening there first. But I think one of the key things happening in the last few years is healthcare is becoming more and more data driven. There's patient data, provider data, disease data, wellness data, pharmaceutical data. So there's so many things in there, that I think applying machine learning or applying data science is right for it now. And then I think it's one of the key buzzwords now in healthcare is evidence-based medicine. So in the past, you walk into a doctor's office, the doctor had an opinion, had a gut instinct, whatever, based on their learning. There was a lot of doctor-driven decisions. Whereas now, a lot of the way doctors practice today, it's becoming evidence-based. What do I mean by that? So if you walk into a doctor's office in the US, they usually use an EMR, an electronic medical record. So there's an ambulatory EMR. If you walk into a hospital, it's called an inpatient EMR. So you will be, basically be dealing with the Cerners and the Epics of the world in the hospital side, and then NextGen and others in the doctor's offices. So, as you go in, your chart comes up, all your past history comes up. Not only that, now you're starting to see the entire, a lot of the journal articles, the latest things in the medical healthcare world. A lot of them pop up as alerts. Even though the doctor might make a diagnosis, the doctor will see some additional things that he or she might miss. So you're starting to see the evidence collected in the rest of the world from the healthcare perspective is available at the point of care to the doctor while he is dealing with the patient. So that's the way the care process, that's the way the care delivery is going to happen, in the future. So you're going to start seeing, and where does that evidence come from? A lot of you guys are going to write some algorithms, are going to write some, do the data science, and a lot of that data that's collected over an entire population. I think we talked about the dream, right, of the marketing dream. So at the same time, now you have, almost, everywhere in the world, you have different populations, and you can do a lot of things with it. So here are some focus areas quickly coming up. Interoperability is always, I spoke to you about doctors' offices and hospitals and labs. So connecting all of them and trying to get information that's relevant and pertinent is always a challenge. So that's something. MACRA is on the regulatory side in the US, so we don't have to touch. But if you start hearing MACRA, you'll see some of the changes, and everybody knows Donald Trump's going to make changes to the healthcare, so it's going to happen. So that's going to be an area of change. Population health. I mean, this is a buzzword, but it's now starting to become real as entire populations are now connected. So I live in Washington, D.C., so there is a health information exchange in our area. So all the hospitals, all the clinics, everything is connected. So wherever I go, data is collected and that data is shared and available. If I go to the hospital has my information. If I go to my general physician, they have my information. So the entire populations are basically being tracked and data is collected. And then now you can do a lot more analysis on things. So they also collect your family history, and now for the first time also, the U.S. Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services started approving DNA sequencing. So you're starting to see, folks have their DNA sequenced, and so you will know, if there are things in your genetic material that tells you that you are predisposed for certain diseases, or whether you will react well to certain medications and things like that. Precision medicine is another thing. It's now more targeted towards subpopulation. If you find there are like 4 antidepressant drugs out there, and one of them works better with Asians, now you can target. So there's a lot more things happening on precision medicine. Security, I know we talked about privacy in other areas like collecting. Security is huge. PII, PHI, personally identifiable information, personal health information, very important. Telehealth, I think the cost of healthcare is going, so remote monitoring of patients and telehealth is huge. Value-based care, and this is the thing that Obamacare, as you guys might have heard it, started, where they were trying to deliver, they were delivering value to patients as opposed to just doing a service. So instead of fee-for-service, they are looking for more value-based care, and that's going to change also. And then finally, now people are talking about applying big data and analytics, to the healthcare data. So I'll just quickly cover some opportunities and challenges. On the opportunity side, there are some really good opportunities. Clinical decision support, I mentioned EMR, EHR. So there is a lot of data collected today, so there is decision science to be applied to that. Length of stay predictions, or OR scheduling. There is a lot of things we can do with NLP around virtual assistants and robotics and things that are starting to happen as you start doing. And then data mining, analytics. I mean, things like so one of the things that, for example, IBM talked a lot about is the work they're doing with a lot of the cancer patients. So how IBM Watson is being applied. So there's all the cancer researchers have come together, to kind of apply some of the latest techniques to that. So there are a lot of opportunities as as IoT, Internet of Things, and other things, collect more data, for patients in the hospital and outside. There are more sensors, like Fitbit on all your fitness data. So there's a lot of opportunities for applying those. So I just wanted to give a quick little overview on clinical and claims analytics. So the analytics in the healthcare world is divided typically into 2 groups. The clinical analytics which you do on the clinical data. So that's the data we gather, when you go to a hospital or a doctor. So it's typically the data that is shared between systems using HL7. It is about your demographics, your conditions, your medications, your allergies, all of those kinds of things. And then a big chunk of the analytics focus in healthcare has been on claims, because this is where insurance companies come in. So the clinical analytics is where the providers, who are doctors and hospitals, are involved, and the claims is where where the payers come into picture. And the claims analytics typically, there are a lot of pre-adjudicated and post-adjudicated claims, so things that go from the doctors to the insurance company. And there is a lot of analytics done on the financial side. So there, they also look at the behavioral side of things. Also in terms of providers, who's prescribing expensive medications, expensive procedures, all of those kinds of things. So there are a lot of opportunities in both worlds. So you have two large, varied data sets, clinical data as well as claims data, that helps you, in terms of solving a lot more interesting problems in analytics. So the challenges are typically the same, in anywhere, the quality of data you get, data quality is always very important. You get data from EMRs, EHRs, like I said, but you also get from claims, from IoT devices to, a lot of other kinds of data sources, from even social data sets are being used. For example, medication act, there are interesting things that Kaiser Permanente is doing in terms of people not sticking to medication. Everything is directed towards healthcare risk management and cost management. If people don't take medications and they end up in ER, it's going to cost the system more, to pay for these patients, right? So for that, they're starting to look at gaming. Gaming, as a way to start looking at doing more, analytics and figuring out what might be work. And then, traditionally people have been using statistical approaches. Then, I'll talk a little bit in the end about symbolic and bio-inspired approaches. So there's, the challenges are, basically, bringing in these additional techniques, as you go beyond the traditional statistical methods. PII, PHI, I mentioned, encryption, privacy analytics, who's touching my record, because I know there were some famous cases where somebody looked up Britney Spears' hospital record, right? So all those kinds of things are prevented. So there is a lot of things. So it's a lot harder for us as data scientists to bring in data sets and do. There are not free data sets out there. There are some, that NIH or Health and Human Services and others publish, but in general, you have to be part of a health system to get access to data. And then, like I said, there are lots of challenges around evidence-based medicine and precision medicine, bringing that evidence and then, presenting it at the point of care. There are some, technology challenges. How do you integrate it with the EMRs and EHRs out there so it's available? At the same time, also the evidence has to be curated, right? So there are other doctors have to agree, and there's a lot of curation that needs to happen. So I think there are lots of opportunities and lots of challenges, for you guys who are thinking of looking into applying your data science knowledge into that. So this we don't have to go. I'm sure you guys are well aware of the AI, the machine learning, and deep learning being a part of machine learning subset of that. Next, please. I just wanted to touch upon the machine learning versus cognitive computing. There seems to be people are now moving beyond the typical statistic math-based algorithms, things that we are doing, to cognitive computing, where they want systems to reason, beyond data, beyond patterns. They want to extend models. We'll touch upon a little bit of that in the end. One of the things that CompuGain is working on with a partner of ours on how cognitive computing, deep learning, some of the things that are going beyond the typical statistics and math-based approaches. So that's kind of like the backdrop, but I just want to briefly touch on the maturity model for analytics. This is I think one of the things you guys have to look at is, from HIMSS, I can definitely send you guys, a link and details if you want. But let's go 2 more slides, one more slide and the third slide. So I don't want to waste time on this. You guys can look at it. Yeah. So this is the 8-stage maturity model. We're not going to go into all of this, but basically, when you assess an organization and their ability, where they are today, they could be from fragmented point solutions to all the way at the top. If you're in the most optimized level, you are at a personalized medicine prescriptive analytics level. So here are the opportunities for you guys in terms of applying. So I think a lot of good healthcare organizations today are probably in stage 3 or stage 4. They have a core data warehouse. They have some capabilities to gather data and apply basic analytics. And where we are seeing as we move past stage 4 is evidence-based care and care variability based reduction is coming in, and then you're now starting to look at if you're a health system and you're trying to improve the health of your population, and improving the quality of care, what kind of things you should be doing, and so the model talks about everything from data governance to the specific analytical capabilities that need to be part of that organization. So I think this gives you a good basis for kind of mapping. If you're interested in applying data science to healthcare, I think you should certainly look into the maturity model to kind of see what kind of opportunities are there for you. So I think we kind of briefly touched on this. So there are a lot of things I think I already talked about interoperability, but I think one thing is patient engagement. So at least in the US, they're starting to realize that more and more patients have important information or data to feed back in. So there is a lot of patient-generated data, like people wear Fitbits or even the blood glucose meter they check today. It automatically sends its reading to the doctor or the EMR. So there's a lot more patient engagement and and data generated from the patient that's going to help in doing better analysis. And then from a health information technology trends, voice AI. So the Amazon Echo, the Alexa, kind of thing, a lot of speech to text analytics. You're starting to see that. Doctors, in today's world, they don't want to go into a web page and enter a bunch of things. And, a lot of the web UIs are going to probably become, a second option, and you're going to see more and more, speech to text. And there are further things. FHIR is an evolving standard for interoperability. It's called fast interoperability, fast health interoperability. So you definitely keep an eye on that if you are in that space. So just a quick technology stack. I just wanted to show this is the kind of thing everybody's focusing on. No surprises. Everybody uses Scala, Python, R, Java, SQL. So there's a lot more Scala going on. And there is big, at least in healthcare, I spoke to like 20 to 25 different analytics firms, who do healthcare, and a lot of them are focused on using Spark, with very large data sets. And then, from a machine learning framework perspective, the MLlib in Spark is pretty popular, and then, H2O, and then there's also Google TensorFlow and a whole bunch of things. But I know you guys are probably following a lot of that, but I just wanted to kind of just give you a brief glimpse of what is a good technology stack, at least as of today, that people are, kind of starting to put a lot of emphasis on. So that might help trigger some things for you guys. So this is, a quick overview. This is our, what we call as our reference architecture. The things at the bottom is more data architecture, data engineering folks bringing data in to the data lake. So it's no longer a simple data lake, it's becoming more semantic data lake. I'll explain to you in a minute, but things that data scientists work on, they'll work with data engineers in transformation enrichment, but a lot of the analysis, and then we are starting to take the insights that we get from the data and then we are starting to deploy them as microservices. So that can be then basically be used in any kind of workflow. Like I said, if you have a data warehouse and you extract these insights, they need to be made available to the doctor at the point of care. And so this, I think, I just wanted to leave you with, what I'm starting to see. At least I spoke to half a dozen, pioneers at the HIMSS conference. So things are moving from deterministic to probabilistic. So I think a lot of people, I'm sure, are aware of where things are today and what we are applying. And I just wanted to kind of quickly walk you through what this chart means. We have evolved from simple SQL reports, schema driven, to data warehousing, applying BI, to predictive analytics, doing mostly descriptive types of regression models, correlation, clustering, univariate to multivariate as part of the predictive analytics. So where we are with healthcare today, you have some enormous data sets. Like I said, not only the structured data from EMRs, there's clinical notes, and also from DNA sequencing. Like I said, every time you run a DNA sequencer on a patient, it has 4 gigs. One run is, it generates data that's equivalent to 4 gig. So storing them, analyzing them, and using it in analytic situations and analytic workloads are going to be challenged. And also the data itself, high dimensionality, large data sets. There is what is called as combinatorial explosion. So a lot of things that we are starting to see is doing probabilistic inferencing. As you guys know, a lot of it is based on Bayesian, the Bayesian method. And then again, from the left to right, you can see things today. If typically if healthcare organizations in the lower level of the maturity model, they're doing things which are where the hypotheses are fixed and assumed. So now we are starting to see things where we are building the next generation models. We're modeling the unknowns. You have the population health data, and now we are looking at more, where the hypothesis is not known or, pre-built, and then you're doing, mostly probabilistic inferencing. You're building models and asking what-if type questions, right? And then I just wanted to call attention, check this out, the bioengine.com. This is something we are working with. This is what I call as a poor man's IBM Watson. This is the same kind of approach tool that's used, IBM Watson, Google Mind, and this is where you're thinking, you're starting to get into probabilistic inferencing. We are working with this, and it's Wolfram Mathematica guys are doing, and they're doing a lot of symbolic programming. They have, this is, for geeks, this is extremely cool. I mean, they're bringing, the Dirac notation from quantum physics and doing a lot of probabilistic algebra. So I'm not going to go into the details here. Check out bioengine.com. I think, there's a tremendous, tremendous wealth of information there. It's driven by a doctor who is also a mathematician and who's an epidemiologist. So there's some really extraordinary stuff going on in the probabilistic inferencing world. So that's all I have to say, and happy to answer any questions you have.
A couple of questions.
About 10-15 years ago, fraud was also a big problem in healthcare, particularly in the US, in Medicaid especially. Is it still the case, or is it not that much of a problem?
It is still, fraud-based abuse is still definitely a very valid use case. In fact, a lot of people, now we have larger data sets they are doing. For example, medication abuse is a big thing. So people now, do a lot of things around how you prescribe to get to your family members, or who's prescribing to whom, and I think with a lot of the graphs, and things they can see relationships. So definitely, yeah.
How does the industry handle the conflict of this personal information versus the data? Especially in this case, cloning and other things,
Well, I mean, from a security perspective, almost all of the EMRs, EHRs, and healthcare systems today encrypt data at rest as well as data in motion. And so from there are strict HIPAA standards, as you know. So anybody, even the Amazon cloud and anybody hosting the data have strict requirements on what they should do. But since this is for a good cause, so patients give consent, so it's also consent is collected, and people can. And then a big thing that you do with population analytics is there is no, what people do is they do anonymization. So you take out the demographics and identifiable information, you build a data set, and then you run your analytics, and if you can benchmark against it. So if you want to say, okay, all Asian